Here's something I just heard about today. I was listening to a podcast with John Kemp, who is part of AEA, or Advancing Eco Agriculture, and they have now put out a regenerative agriculture AI tool, chatbot, whatever you want to call it, large language model. The difference between this one and most of the other ones, your regular Google, Grok, some of those, Chat GPT, is the way a large language model works is you feed information into it, and then it has that as a basis for its searches, for its knowledge, for whatever research that you're doing. And while apparently most of the others, um, general ones, especially the free ones, kind of search the internet, anything and everything that's available on the internet, some of them are the information fed into them is catered, or contained to specific resources. In this case, according to John, they're using all their own information, their reports and lab results and everything they've been doing since the AEA has been going on, but also specific books, text, and resources that they have vetted and believe to be correct and accurate, as opposed to just anything and everything out there. So you're not getting uh, Bubba, up in the hills that did a video getting equal weight to possibly peer reviewed scientific journals. And of course, they are focused on regenerative agriculture. So the material, while still a large amount of information, I'm sure they're adding more to it, is a little more catered, or a little more, I can't remember the word that I'm looking for here. It should be a little more accurate, at least from the point of view of what most people would want to use. So it is a website here. You do it, try it for free. You'll have to create an account. You don't It's free to do that part. You don't have to give it a credit card or anything to create that account, um, and at least give it a try. You can log in, I think, with Apple ID, with Google ID, or use an email and create a password, things of that nature. So I did that, and I've been playing with it just a little bit. I don't know how many questions I can put in there, but so I started with this. I have a field which has been in rice with occasional soy for the last couple of decades. How would I turn it into a diverse vegetable and orchard farm? Which is actually a question that I have. So here's what it comes up with. Kind of repeats the question back to you. That's really, I could care less about that. I don't really, when I ask somebody a question in person, rarely do I expect them to read it back to me, unless that's, if I'm working on the floor as a nurse or as a firefighter out on the scene or something like that, then yeah, I like communication to be relayed back to me so I know that it, got it correctly. But I assume I typed it in before I had entered that it got it. But anyway, it then asked for some extra information, which I put in there, and then it starts giving some recommendations. And most of this looks like something that would seem, at least to me, fairly normal anyway. Nothing really crying out as being, But if I was new to all this, hadn't been studying some of this for a few years, then this might be a great way to start. Um, One thing about it, apparently you can create projects and save that. You can save your history, because unlike Google, just doing Google searches, which they're tracking you, but since you're logging in, you can kind of keep up with previous questions. And if you're trying to get a deeper dive on a specific topic, growing tomatoes, whether you prune them or not, things like that, maybe working on starting your own market garden or your own home garden or something, that might be pretty cool to kind of keep a lot of that information there. You can start a new chat. There's apparently, like, people call this the hamburger button. Okay, so you click over here on the top right, and something pops up on the left. That seems a little odd. I would, if I'm looking at the top right, especially on a large screen, and I click something, I would kind of like whatever pops up to be right there close to it, not on the opposite side of the screen. That's interesting. So it's all the way back over here. Apparently, this one is not free. Um, so I mean, I'm sure that they spent enough time and whoops, they spent enough time and effort that it needs to be a payback. I mean, it is a business after all, and it's a curated. That's the word I was looking for. Curated set of information that probably some of it not really available anywhere else. Their own data and stuff. I guess it's going to be up to each person whether or not they think that it is worth $280 a year to be able to ask 50 questions a month. I don't understand 50 questions a month, but no daily limits. I mean, so I guess what that means is you could do up to 50 questions in one day, but then that's your monthly allotment. And then the next month you get another 50. If you want unlimited questions, then it is $1,400 and $1,444, a year. I guess it's going to be up to you whether that it's worth that or not to you. Now, I mean, I'm not against spending money for education for help. I have spent thousands in the last, 5 years to 10 years in courses on permaculture, biochar, microscopy, rainwater harvesting, all kinds of stuff. So $200, $280 a year compared to that may not be that much, or I don't know. You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself whether it's worth anywhere from $280 to $1,500 a year for a curated AI